Have you watched any of your own videos? No. It's like horrible hearing the sound of your voice, isn't it? I'm just like, no.
If I can, I would delete everything.
Oh, yeah. So all of the stuff that we just said, you have on tape. I'm here with Heather.
I'm here with Liz.
Woohoo!
Hi.
Hello everyone. We're here to talk about IELTS speaking exam. We're going to watch an IELTS test in front of you guys and we're going to criticize it.
Yeah,
we're going to tell you...
so excited.
Yeah. We're going to tell you all the stuff that they did wrong and the stuff that they did right and the stuff that they could do better next time in order to get a higher band score.
Yes.
So
this
sit
one
back
is for band 6, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So sit back, get yourself a coffee and enjoy.
Okay, so could you tell me your full name, please?
Junwon Lee.
Junwon Lee. Could you spell that for me, please?
JOON
Double
WON and LEE.
That was pretty good.
Okay, Junwon. And are you a student or are you working?
Yeah, I'm a university student in England.
Again, I don't like art.
Okay, and what are you studying?
Nobody likes
Sports
art.
management.
I do.
Because I love football.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And are you enjoying
studying
your
sports
course?
management.
Yeah, I'm
in
very
England.
enjoying now, and yeah, I enjoy.
What do you think is enjoyable about it?
I'm living in England, so I can speak English well with other foreign people.
Foreign people.
So I can experience
say
other
friends?
Yeah.
other friends' culture. So yeah.
Okay, very good. And what do you like to do when you have some free time?
I usually play football with my
That
friends.
whip is really
and
annoying you, isn't
Actually,
it?
I have a team. This team is just all Korean. It's quite weird, but
Korea.
we play
Did you say
together
Korea
and
or
we
Korean?
sometimes we
All Korea, I
play with
think.
another country's team.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about public holidays. So how many
Seems like he's
public
always
holidays
talking about
are
public
there
holidays.
in your
Is
country?
it because he likes it?
In Korea,
Yes.
generally, January 1st, it is holiday called Seollal.
Oh, holiday.
When we
Well, New Year's Day is always the same.
this Seollal means we eat tteokguk. Tteokguk means a rice cake soup. So when we eat tteokguk, then we will get one more age.
One more age.
Okay, good.
One more year.
And do you think
I'll
people
get a
need
year
more
older.
public holidays?
Actually, in Korea, most
Actually.
people work very hard, so I think we need to get more holiday.
Okay, very good, very good.
The answers are
And how do
relatively
you
short.
usually spend your public holidays?
Part 1.
I
This
usually
one was
spend
too
my
short.
time with my friends, and as you know, I play football with my friends, and sometimes I watch movies and go to cinema. And my favorite movie
Movies go to
is
cinema is the same thing,
Avengers.
isn't it?
Okay, very good, very good.
Yeah, no, I feel like you
in
could
keeping with the topic
expand
of
a
public
bit more.
holidays, let's talk about relatives. So, how often do you visit your relatives?
relative.
Your aunt or uncle or grandparents?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we didn't understand the word relatives there.
Sometimes I go to my grandfather's house, so we meet together and we talk and we play some games like Yunori. It's called Yunori. And
He's talking about Korean
Yeah.
traditional game.
we,
Oh, okay.
the important thing is just meet together and talk. with
So
my
there's
friend-
a lot
my
of
family.
hesitancy in the way that he's speaking. I
And
feel
do
like
your relatives often visit your
his
home?
answers are not very full and
actually-
Doesn't sound fluent.
I go to my relatives' place, and so, but sometimes they come to our house. Yeah.
Our house.
Okay, very good, very good. And what do you think is the
Korean
most
people like
popular
to
time
use the
for
word
people
our
to visit
instead
their
of my.
relatives?
Very communal society.
You are. We were talking about this last night. You like go on
Yes,
holiday in
yes.
packs.
Like, what is the most common time or the most popular time that people visit their relatives? Is there a special holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Of course, special holiday.
New Year's.
We usually meet special holiday because in our Korean society there is a lot.
You don't have to say our.
Most people
Korean
work hard, so we don't have a lot of time to meet parents and relatives. So we usually use
What did he
holiday
say?
time.
After parents.
Relative.
Relatives.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay,
Sounded
so
like
that is the end
relevance
of the
to me.
first part of
Yeah.
the test.
Yeah. So I think in general, maybe we could say kind of generally that part one, there was a lot of hesitancy there and the answers were not very full. So, you know, that's definitely something that I talk about a lot with students, giving kind of more developed answers so that the examiner doesn't even have time to ask you more questions. Like if you're
Exactly.
nervous, give a longer answer and you won't have to answer so many questions.
Yeah, examiners have to like explain everything about the question to the student, so it wouldn't help for his marks though. So please expand your answer as much as you can.
And try not to wait such a long time to answer as well. It's okay to, you know, have a natural pause, but the idea is to show that you're a fluent speaker, and needing kind of 20 seconds to answer a question doesn't show that you're a fluent speaker.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to part two then.
Part two. Okay, so I'm going to give you a question here. So here is your question, and you have the paper and a pen. And so I'll give you 1 minute to prepare for the question. You can write down some notes and get ready. So you can begin
I always
now.
think it's really hard
Okay,
giving 1 minute
that's
to
1
get
minute.
prepared.
Okay, so
It's the
now I would like you
completely
to
new
describe
question.
an experience that the vehicle you took broke down.
I have traveled a lot
Oh,
of
the vehicle
countries
breakdown
so far,
experience.
but
Yes,
I had
that
an
classic.
accident
Yeah.
just one
IELTS is
time.
weird.
In this January of winter vacation, I went Spanish island of Tenerife with my university friends, and after we arrived there, we moved to our hotel directly.
Okay.
Adverbs are not his thing, are they?
The hotel location was there. There is very nice beach, so we could see this beach very clearly.
Beach. You have to smile when
After
you
we
say it.
arrived our hotel,
You
we
can't
planned
pronounce
to
it
go
like that.
restaurant
It's
because
a
we
swear
were
word.
very hungry. We feel very hungry.
We felt.
Yeah,
We took a bus,
intense.
but the bus looks like very old.
Oh,
and
he's completely
bus
forgotten
makes
that he should be
very
using the past.
big noise. So yeah, we were a little bit nervous, but we just
Yeah,
took a
there's a
bus
mixture
and
of tenses inappropriately.
on the way to
Wouldn't
our
help
restaurant,
you get good
the
good
bus's
scores.
engines suddenly stopped it. So we were very shocked, but other people who took a bus,
I'm
they're
self-corrected.
not shocked and they just wait next bus. So this is my
Waited.
weird experience in this island.
Did you say experiencing or experience?
I think he was going for
Alright,
experience.
That'll do us for part two of the test. Okay, very good. Very good. So after it broke down,
Okay, the examiner's
what
asking
happened?
additional
Another bus came.
questions. Was she using the
Yeah,
bus?
another bus came, but at the time we were very nervous and very shocked. So, but other guys, other people who took bus, they never feel nervous and any
They never
action.
felt
So
nervous.
we just following them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we pose it here?
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Heather?
I wouldn't say it's actually quite fluent though. Yeah, there were too many hesitation.
Yeah. So again, that hesitation, and just like you could clearly tell, again, I can't see his notes, but I can take a pretty educated guess and I'd expect them to not be very good. Because, you know, mixing tenses, that's a really bad sign. It just shows the examiner that you're not a fluent speaker and you're not going to do well in terms of grammatical range and accuracy because your grammar's not accurate.
Exactly. Well, you have to use correct grammar always. So it's really important to use the tense right.
And I think there, you know, the question is always your guide, and that question was about a past experience, so you're always going to use past tenses.
But students don't really look at the question in the middle, but I think you should.
I would agree that students should always read the question, and that's something that they often neglect to do. So if he had read the question a bit more carefully, he has some good ideas there, and if he'd structured his notes well, I mean, you only have a minute, but that's enough time to write kind of 5-10 keywords in the order that you're going to talk about them in.
So just follow the order. That will be better than just saying whatever you want to say.
Yeah. And again, the fact that there were follow-up questions, if you can extend your answer for as long as possible, remember it's called the long turn for a reason. They want you to talk for a long time. That's because you haven't developed your ideas enough, you haven't given enough. And you know, there wasn't really, I mean, for me, in terms of fluency and coherence, I felt there were not a good range of cohesive devices or discourse markers there. I felt it was quite basic in terms of discourse markers. I didn't enjoy the repetition of actually. Everyone has their things. I say like quite a lot, which is, I know is very annoying.
I say kind
for people.
of quite a lot.
Yeah. But if you, especially when you know you're expecting to be giving a long speech about a topic, you would have in your mind some discourse markers that you could use and that would be appropriate register-wise, and that would also signal to the examiner like where you are in the story. So firstly, it doesn't have to be ridiculously academic or anything.
Exactly.
Firstly, I arrived on the island and then this happened, and after that, and then
At the time, something
later
like that.
on, finally, and there you go, you've got a story. So it's just kind of guiding the examiner through the experience, and that as an examiner that makes a lot more sense to you, and it shows you as an examiner, okay, this is a student that is able to create paragraphs.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not showing me paragraphs there.
Okay, I'm nervous now.
Very nice. Okay, so now we're going to go on to part 3 of the test. Okay, so let's continue on. Okay, so who do you think likes to travel more? Older people or younger people?
Oh,
There's
you have
just
to choose
2
one.
options.
Yes.
Okay, then if I need to choose just one, then I will choose younger people, because younger people have more time and more opportunity to travel rather than
What about the
older
money?
people. So I think younger people likes to travel more than older people. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think older people enjoy traveling these days?
Yeah.
Or
Also, older people enjoy and likes to go travel, but I think
People like.
they don't have
People
much
like.
time. So
Singular. I
choose
know it's a plural
younger people.
noun, but it takes the verbs in a
good.
singular form.
And do you think it's common for people to travel after they retire?
Yeah, right. After retire, they already got
After
some money
retirement.
and they're already ready to
After retiring,
travel. So I
chucking a
think
gerund, that's always nice.
they will go travel
will be going.
after retire.
All right, very good, very good. And do you think these days there are fewer private cars on the road because of improved public transportation?
Yes, it makes sense, but I think
Doesn't sound right.
private transport is more convenient than public transport.
Such Korean
I
accent.
think
People like saying
most people use private car more
Bali bali.
Why do you think it's more convenient?
because People who use private transport, they don't need to wait this destination like a bus stop. For example, public transport, there's always stop and like Gangnam Station and Seocho Station and Bangbae Station. But if they use private transport, they can go directly the destination.
Directly
Okay, yeah, that's a big advantage.
preposition.
Yeah, and what do you think needs to be improved in public transportation?
Actually, I went
Okay, he refused to say.
France and England
No.
and China and Japan, a lot of country, and I experienced that country's public transport. But I think in Korea, our transport service and quality is the best. So I don't
Go
think
Korea.
we need
Public
more
transport.
service.
Much
and
cheaper than
quality.
English.
I didn't feel.
Okay, you're satisfied.
Yeah, I'm
That's the only thing I
satisfied.
love about Korea.
And how about in the other countries you've been to? How could they improve?
How could they improve? Nice modal.
For example, China.
China.
When I was 6 or 7, I went China and
To China. Went to.
with my
Go to a
family,
place.
and we use public transport, but we feel a little bit confused
We felt.
which part,
You said
which
you were 6 or
direction
7
is
years
right
old.
or not. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It's tricky.
yeah.
Seems
Tricky.
like the
Okay,
examiner is
okay,
kind
good,
of
good.
lost
And
somewhere.
do you think it's
I think the
important
examiner's kind
for
of clutching
younger
at
people
straws,
to
like asking
travel?
more and more follow-up questions
For
because he's
example,
not extending.
university
Exactly, yeah.
students or after high school, is it important for them to travel abroad?
Yeah, of course, because I heard in America, they
Heard in America.
they're like a culture, to travel 1 year before to go university,
A gap year.
and I was surprised. Oh,
It's not
why
common.
they have like that culture, but now I can understand why they make like that culture, because younger people need to watch more good things and or new things, so they can
See more new things?
they can
Did
spread
he answer
their
the question
vision.
there? I'm not sure he did.
Okay, good.
He was talking
Is there
about
any
the gap
negative
year,
points
and
of that? Any
he said
negative
he's,
points of traveling when
younger
you're
people
just finishing
need
high
to
school?
watch some new things.
Collocations.
Negative things. Actually, I didn't feel any negative things to travel, but if I need to say something, I will say dangerous,
Making big
like
introduction.
accident, as you know. If they traveled with their friends that age, 19, 20, it's very risky because some people could attack them or
Attack them
take their money.
during their trip.
That's the ones.
Oh, for the money.
Okay, very good.
So he's like
All
talking
right,
about
that's the end of our
pickpockets.
test. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So that was part 3. Well, extending the answers, I think that was the biggest one for me. So there were lots of similar mistakes to the mistakes that we'd seen earlier in the test in terms of tense, using the correct tense, lack of discourse markers, and the answers were just too short. They needed to be more developed. Yeah, I don't feel like he expanded enough. I think he missed a lot of opportunities to develop his explanations a bit further.
Yeah, I think questions were pretty simple though, but he didn't really answer it clearly. So
No.
the examiner seemed quite lost in the middle. So I don't think it sounded like logical level.
And there were lots of kind of very basic mistakes, like to go to a place. You learn these phrases when you are in kind of elementary, pre-intermediate level
exactly,
classes. It's not something that's hard, difficult level grammar. So to make that mistake, you think, okay,
Yes, I know it's really difficult to speak in English in a length, but you have to be really careful if you're aiming for 6 or 7 or further. Don't make any basic mistakes. That's really important.
And to just, use a bit more variety in your language, use some more interesting vocabulary, some higher level vocabulary. So when he was talking about being mugged or pickpocketed, he could have used either of those terms and that would have been better than what he said. Attack me.
What is it? Wild boar or something? Come and attack me. Okay.
Yeah, so slightly inappropriate vocabulary for the context. I think that was a big thing for me. And there was, he, attempted a couple of conditionals, but there wasn't really any consistent attempt to produce complex sentences or to produce more of a wide variety. The questions asked in a modal. So answer back with an appropriate modal, reflect the examiner. We've talked about that before, and I think
that's the easiest way of answering the questions, referring the question.
Paraphrase
just
it
use
back.
It. Just use the opportunity and get the nice score, please.
Yeah. Thank you for your very interesting question about gap years. I think that actually in my country it's not very common to take a gap year. However, more and more people are starting to like the idea, and it's becoming more and more common for people to take gap years or to take a break from their studies to go and do something different. You can make something up off the cuff like that, and it's better because I reflected the question back.
Well,
what else can we say? Please.
Well, the thing that really bothered me was the pronunciation of with.
You see, that didn't bother me that much, but people are, not people is. I know it's weird, but it's just the way it is in English.
It's the basic grammar.
To go to a place, go to, listen to music. Remember that one as well.
Listen to music.
Teacher, I listen music.
No, you don't listen music. You listen to music.
So I know that they're very small words and they might feel insignificant, but prepositions and articles, using them correctly shows the examiner that you're a really confident user of English, and that will be kind of a band 8, band 9. So learn them.
Yes, please.
What else can we say? Learn your English.
Yeah, study hard at EDM.
And come to King's. Shameless plug.
Seriously, we are.
Yeah, shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless.
Come and learn to speak English like the native speakers do, and you'll get a band 8 or a band 9 in your IELTS, and that's what you need if you want to study a master's at a prestigious university. So it's in your interest. But I would have given him a 5 or 5.5 at the highest. I wouldn't have given him a 6. But I'm a very harsh marker.
Me too.
Yeah, he didn't earn a 6.
Well, I've seen some students at that kind of level, so he might get 6 in the real exam, but I wouldn't give him 6.
No.
5.5.
I wouldn't have said he's an upper intermediate speaker of English. No. I would have said that was intermediate, late intermediate perhaps, but he didn't show enough of a range of vocabulary or a range of grammar or the accuracy expected at that level.
Okay, let's say he was nervous.
That would be a kind way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, being kind.
Yeah, you will.
Very unlike of me. The examiner was really kind though.
감사합니다.